Hey guys, welcome back to Papa Prepper T here. Hope you all have had a good day. I had a pretty good day, pretty uneventful. Those are the best kind. Before I get started tonight, I want to give a big thank you to John over at Prepper Nation. He reached out to me today and kind of solved the dilemma that I was kind of having with trying to pick a day and time to do my live stream every week. And he asked if I would be interested in doing 8 o'clock every Saturday night, 8 to 9, before his live stream, Shogun Saturday Night, which I am absolutely ecstatic about. I'm so happy. Me being live on a Saturday night, I really didn't even think that was an option. So I'm hoping that'll help me out and give me some new subs. And because I told John earlier today that I would love to get to the place where like him and Prepper Nurse 1, Grim Survival, I want to get to the point where I can do some charity work. I mean, the idea of super chats to me is amazing. Finally becoming monetized so I can give that back. Because around here we always have like families in need this time of year, or whatever it may be. We have a very, very amazing pet rescue called Red Sky. It's maybe 20 minutes here from where I live, but they're an amazing group of people, and they take in any kind of animals. I mean, they take in horses, farm animals, dogs, cats, you name it. They'll put it up for a while, until it finds its forever home. But anyway, that's kind of getting off subject. But John, thank you so much. I'm gonna have to step up my game because I just don't want to become a blubbering idiot on the camera live, because I'm hoping to have a really good turnout. But anyway, enough of that. Kind of excited about it though. I can't lie. I can't hide it. Tonight it's not really, it's kind of prepping, I guess, but just, even if we don't have SHTF, in the next few months, I found some cheap and easy, relatively cheap and easy things you can do just to lower your heating bills and make your home warmer. If there is SHTF, a lot of this would pertain to that, keeping the heat inside your house. But I found the list is 25. I'm not going to lie, I just kind of rooted around on the internet and found these. So I'm going to pass them on to you guys. Some of them are kind of, but a lot of them are really, really good suggestions. The number one is replace your bathroom exhaust switch with a timer switch. That way, you can set it for 5-10 minutes, however long you're in the shower, to get rid of all the steam. Or if you go drop a deuce, you can set it for 10-15 minutes, whatever, and then it shuts off instead of just leaving it run to air out. Because the winter air it'll come right in that fan, and being completely counterproductive. You're pumping hot air out and it's letting cold air in, and the whole time your furnace is just running and running and running, or whatever it is you heat with. Or if you don't mind a little less privacy, just leave the bathroom door cracked, and that'll let most of that steam out. So I like the steam personally, but when it comes to the number two, I'd rather have the fan on or the door open. So I'll leave that up to you guys. Number two, make sure bathroom fans / vents have baffles and draft blockers on the outside so you don't have the cold air blowing back into the house. And that's where I was just at on the other one. If you don't have anything to prevent that backdraft, you're just pumping cold air right back into your house. That's why the bathrooms are usually the coldest room in the house. Your ceiling fans. In the like in the early or late fall, I guess, and early spring, between that area, you'll want to reverse your ceiling fans because heat rises, of course. So if you have forced heat, you pretty much don't even have to run the fans. But if you have floor heat, you'll definitely want the air from your fan blowing down, because a lot of the times in the summer, you want the hot air sucked up and circulate the air from top to bottom, or from bottom. You know what I mean. But in the winter, you want that fan pushing that hot air down to the floor and leaving it there to keep you warmer. Close the doors and vents to any unused room in your house. We're really bad about that. Well, we were. Here the last couple of years, we've gotten really good about it. But because we've got an extra bedroom that's just our stockpile room, pretty much. So, you can leave that bedroom or that extra room relatively cold, but don't let it get too cold, in case there are water pipes that run through the wall or right under the floor, anything like that. You don't want to get them so cold in there that they freeze. So keep that in mind. But for the most part, it's not going to get that cold in there. This one here, it's kind of, I don't know. Outside airflow makes a difference too. Consider a snow fence to control where snow drops and controls the drifting. Even a small fence can break the strong winds somewhat. I understand the blocking the wind. That makes all the sense in the world to me with a big, privacy fence or something like that. But blocking the snow and I guess blocking the wind would control the snow drifts, but that's a lot of science and math, it seems to me, to know how to control where the snow is going to drift. So for me, that one's probably out. It's just, that'd be kind of pricey too. I'm trying to stay as low budget as I can, and putting up a whole new fence, that could be kind of pricey. Excuse me, guys, I need a drink. Okay. Number 6. If you have radiators or baseboard heating pipes, line the inside of the exterior wall with tinfoil or other heat-reflecting materials from your home improvement store. This will reflect some of the heat back into the home. The same can be done for ovens, wood stoves, and other sources internally. And what that means is, typically, say, make sure I get this right. Yeah, the radiator pipes, and those are usually in your older homes, but they will have a gap. They sit out from the wall, so far. And what you can do, say this is your pipe, you can run aluminum foil under it and up around it on the wall, and instead of the wall absorbing that heat, it'll force it out into the room. Make sure you aren't blocking airflow from forced air vents, and that the vents are open where you need heat. Don't block your vents with furniture, piles of dirty clothes, or other debris. That's pretty self-explanatory. Keep all your vents clear, and open where you want them open. If you have a chimney and are not using it, make sure its flue and draft, if it has both, are closed. Open chimneys can suck the heat right out of your home. This is one of the biggest issues with open fireplaces. Too much heat loss from the room. So there again, that's pretty self-explanatory. Make sure your flue and your draft is shut, or just the flue, whatever it's got. You can also buy inserts that you can put up in the chimney, like right up above the fireplace in the chimney, that will block all that air. But just remember, before you try to build a fire next time, you want to take that insert back out, or you're going to have a problem. Let's see here. Insulate hot water / radiator pipes and ductwork running through non-living areas. You don't want to lose heat in a crawl space or utility area. You want it to get your house warm. And a lot of older homes, just from the heat and the cold makes those duct work and everything expand. And eventually what happens is they, where you have this perfectly level duct where they come together and overlap, it usually starts doing this. Just from years of, expanding and shrinking, expanding and shrinking. And so what you want to do is, I'd say at least every 2 or 3 years, get under there, make sure they're all connected really well. You can buy the insulation to wrap them with to make sure all that air is coming into your home. And you'd be surprised what a little bit of money spent will definitely save you in the long run. We just got last year we had a metal roof put on, and then this year we had the metal siding put on. So our house looks like a pole barn house, and we can already tell a very big difference in the heating and cooling. Like it can be, we leave our air set on, or our heat set on 63, but as long as it's, it can be 25 outside, but if it's sunny, it stays almost 70 degrees in here. And it might drop cold enough for the furnace to kick on at night. But during the day, man, if that's an option, I would definitely go with the metal roof and metal siding. You would be amazed at the difference it makes in your heating and cooling bill. Pipe insulation Pipe insulation isn't just for exposed pipes. You can place it along the bottom of an interior or exterior door to reduce the drafts. And what they're talking about, that Nerf foam pipe. It's an insulation that you put over PVC pipe. If you cut those and, just put a slit in them all the way across the length of the bottom of your door, you can slide those right up on there. Well, you have to go from the end of your door and slide it along the bottom of your door. And it might be kind of tight to shut, but you would be amazed at the air that'll block. You might not even realize it, but get up and go feel under your front or back door, or how much air, just an interior door, how much air flows through there constantly. And if you're, got the room shut off because you don't use that room, but you still got that big gap under the door, all that cold air from having everything shut off in that room is going to push right out into the rest of the house. So you definitely want to airtight your door. Your attic doors. For anybody that has an attic, we have an attic access, but there's nothing up there. There's not even it's just rafters, a lot of wires and duct work, but anyway, you want to make sure that door is very insulated, or if not, because heat rises, so it's all going to go right up the little cracks and everything all around that door. So make sure that's insulated. And as well as if you have a door to your crawl space, you want to make sure that's airtight as well, because all that cold air up under your house will come right up through the gaps around that hatch, or whatever you've got that goes to your crawl space. Don't let the cold radiate up from your floor. An uninsulated floor can cause more than 10% heat loss in a home. This is especially important if your home is built on a slab, which means no basement. Obviously, I shouldn't even read that. Duh. The floor with warm edges. Let me start this sentence over. This is especially important if your home is built on a slab. Insulate the floor with warm rugs and or carpet. Pretty self-explanatory. And I learned something interesting from this article. That's why, or where, like the bearskin rugs and all that stuff came from, that we all think is really, pretty decor now. That's what that was for back in the day. It was to insulate your cold floorboards. I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm a sucker for useless trivia. Any little nuggets of any kind of, like, normal people would be like, why would you want to know that? I'm a sucker for that crap. Love some useless trivia. An extreme cold, excuse me guys, in extreme cold, hang blankets along the wall, even where there aren't windows. The walls can radiate cold through it. This is especially true if the insulation isn't good enough. If this happens regularly, you need to check your wall insulation. But I thought that was a very good idea, especially if, you know, it is SHTF, grid down. Just take blankets and stretch them along your wall, all your exterior walls, or whatever you can cover. Um, because, yeah, if you, I mean, get up, unless you have like a really heavily insulated brick home, or, you know, your walls are probably going to be a little bit cold regardless of how good your insulation is. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's wintertime. But yeah, the idea of hanging blankets on the walls, that's a pretty good idea. And this one, number 14, excuse me, I see this around here all the time. And you guys probably have too. But bales of straw or hay around the perimeter of your house. You see this a lot with like mobile homes or RVs, you know, because they have underpinning. But I lived in a trailer for quite a long period of time. Every winter, dude, I was out there heating my pipes, trying to get my water unthawed, and it sucks. I don't miss that at all. Knock on wood, I ain't had to do that since we moved here. But, yeah, stacking them straw bales up around your foundation, that'll definitely help keep all that cold air and stuff from coming up under your house and up in through the cracks in your floor, or, you know, what have you. If you have south-facing windows, you want to keep those uncovered while the sun's shining through those windows, because that natural heat, it's amazing. That's another thing with our house. You know, we've got lots of windows and the sun shines in the house almost all day, and it really helps the heating bill. We're on number 16. You can buy insulated blinds and curtains for your windows. They can be pricey, and places like Home Depot, Menards, Lowe's, you can custom order, you know, the size of your windows and stuff. Excuse me. But those do keep out a lot of the cold air. But I mean, I personally think there's a lot cheaper routes to go. That's a lot of money. But, you know, with the blinds, you can open them and close them with the sun. You know, let that natural heat into your house. So I mean, it would be convenient, but it's very pricey. Just to go buy regular blinds is, you know, not cheap. So I couldn't imagine ordering custom fit blinds, especially insulated custom fit blinds. I'm sure that's way out of my pay grade. Add interior window insulation using something like a 3M insulation kit. These window insulating kits can be combined with the shades or curtains. We used the 3M insulating kits, and what it is it's like saran wrap almost that goes around over your window, and you use a heat gun, hair dryer, whatever, and it shrinks and conforms to that, you know, around that window and blocks all the cold air. We tried it a couple of years in a row, and each year, I mean, usually by January, it's starting to like pop up off, and kind of a waste of money if you ask me. Some windows it worked, you know, the entirety of the winter, but most of them it started peeling and popping up, and I cleaned the walls and everything around the window before I done it, and it all looked as good as it could, and then it still ended up doing it. For a cheap, short-term solution, use duct tape and an old blanket to cover your windows. It's ugly, but it's functional. I honestly, and I liked the idea about hanging the blankets on the walls too. But, you know, if it's SHTF or whatever, and it's like, you know, grid down, there's no heat, I'm not so sure I'd want to be putting my extra blankets up on the window. But what I would do is use the heavy black contractor bags and duct tape, because that is going to block just as much cold air as any blanket ever would. Sorry, guys. If you have a really big window, Lord help me. If you have a really big window and want to reduce heat loss, you can duct tape a large clear shower curtain to the inside just past the frame. A shower curtain is thicker than the window insulating kits. It will allow sun in during the day and still provide an air gap to reduce heat loss. Adding a curtain or shade over it helps even more at night. So there's another, that's relatively cheap, especially for big windows. And letting the sunshine still, come through, that is a very big benefit. Like I said, though, if it's SHTF and you might have some solar power and stuff inside at night, the black contractor bags will also work to not let people know you got lights on in the house, because that makes you a target. But if you still have power, the shower curtains I would definitely do before the black bags, just for the simple fact of using that solar energy to heat your home. Okay. This one, I'm not so sure about. Okay. I don't know. Don't drain a bathtub that is hot. Wait for it to cool before you drain it. If there's a storm coming where you may lose power, fill the tub with hot water. You get additional heat in the home and an emergency water source. I guess I could see that, but I've never noticed that much heat coming off a bathtub full of water. Maybe I've just never paid that much attention, but when you finish baking, leave the stove open slightly to let the home get all that wonderful heat. They said wonderful, I didn't. Winter is a great time to practice your homestead baking skills. If you froze fruits and berries in the summer, winter is a perfect time to finish your jam and jelly making. I'm not sure what that's got to do with the heat besides using the oven, but at any rate, yeah, when you're done baking, just leave your oven cracked, and just let all that heat out, because it stays hot for a minute inside that oven. And it's just going to sit there and be hot anyway, so you might as well crack it and let all that heat out into the house. And I'm not saying use your oven to heat your home. That's dangerous. It's not as dangerous if you have an electric oven, but it's still dangerous, and I'm not suggesting you do that. Have I done that? Yes, I have. But I'm not telling you to. That's like, no. Number 22, your pets. Believe me, that's true. I have an 80-pound American Bulldog who has to sleep between his mommy and daddy every night. The dude is like sleeping with a furnace. So that's another good way to keep, stay warm and let your thermostat rest a little lower. Just snuggle with your pets. You'll be surprised. Keep blankets and lap throws handy and use then down. Okay, I think that's a misprint. Anyway, your little throw blankets and my wife and daughter, they're like the poster child for that. They always got to have blankies. Anytime they're in the living room watching TV or whatever, they always got to have a blanket over them. And that's a good thing. We're very adamant about saving money where we can. The heating bill is a very easy thing to save money on. If you just use common sense and, instead of, if you're sitting there in a pair of boxer shorts and a t-shirt, no socks on, and you're complaining it's cold, put some clothes on. Buy pajama pants. Or, just put on a hoodie till you go to bed. It's a lot easier to just put on a couple articles of clothing and sit around than it is to pay that extra amount of money every month for the heating bill just because you want to sit around in your underwear. Makes no sense. Invest in a small, clean-burning, portable propane heater to add heat only where and when you need it. The $18,000 BTU propane Big Buddy heater is well reviewed online and by friends who have used it. I do not have a Big Buddy heater, but I'll show you what I do have. And I have tested it, and it works tremendously well in our living room. Our living room and kitchen is an open floor plan. Now, granted, it hasn't been, 5 degrees outside yet, but I have the little buddy. I think it was, I'd have to ask my wife. I think it was like $60, maybe. But it runs on one of the little gallon propane canisters. And it's got the, igniter and everything. It's a pretty nice little heater. I know Alaska Prepper, he just reviewed one. And I don't think he cared too much for it. But, even he said it has its good qualities and its bad qualities. It's got if it tips over, it shuts off. If it gets too hot, it shuts off. It's got a lot of safety, built-in safety features. So I really liked that. And we got a couple other little, not safe for indoors, really. But we've got a couple other heat options. Say it does go grid down, and, we got to come up with something. We got to back up to a backup, so. Okay, so that's the end of my list. If y'all got some, different ideas or comments, please leave them below. If you haven't already, like or dislike the video, whatever you're feeling tonight, I get it. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying my best to work full time and trying to get a video out every evening. And again, thank you to John. I will be going live every Saturday night at 8 p.m. And if you tune in to see me, and if you don't know who Prepper Nation is, you must have just started prepping. John over there, he's amazing. He's a great guy. He's a lot more, which I hit on a little bit of the political stuff too, but this dude is like a political genius. Okay, he really covers his stuff very well. He's definitely one to watch. And in the prepping, of course, don't get me wrong, he could do circles around me. But he's a really good guy. And I think that's about it, guys. I, of course, probably will not have a video up Christmas Day. Obvious reasons. But I will have one Christmas Eve. Old Santa Claus might stop by here. You never know. He ain't going to be giving nothing away, but he might show up just to say hi. He might have some prepping tips for y'all. I don't know. You'll just have to watch and see. But I'm pretty tight with him, so I think I could probably get him to show up. But I think that's it for tonight, guys. Like I said, please like, subscribe, and please share anybody this might help. And God bless each and every one of y'all. And I will see you tomorrow night. Papa Prepper out.